New Zealand Rugby, NZR, is on the brink of a significant structural overhaul, with three heavyweight figures emerging as early frontrunners for the newly created role of high-performance director. According to reports, former All Blacks head coaches Steve Hansen and Joe Schmidt, along with experienced administrator Don Tricker, are leading candidates as the governing body reshapes its high-performance framework. The move signals a major reset within NZR following a period of reflection after recent Rugby World Cup campaigns and broader questions around performance alignment, leadership structures, and long-term succession planning. Why the role has opened up the creation of the high performance director position comes in the wake of significant departures within the organization. Wayne Smith, who had been serving as NZ Rugby's performance coach, has left the union to pursue an opportunity abroad. His departure followed that of former All Blacks head coach Scott Robertson, marking the end of a short but high-profile chapter in New Zealand's coaching ranks. Adding to the transition, NZR confirmed that long-serving general manager of professional rugby and performance Chris Lendrum will step down at the end of May after more than 2 decades of service. Lendrum's responsibilities will be absorbed into the remit of the new high-performance director, significantly expanding the scope and influence of the role. NZ Rugby has indicated it will begin recruitment immediately, underlining the urgency of the restructure. While the next All Blacks head coach may be appointed in the coming months, the high-performance director role does not need to be filled by the same deadline, allowing NZR time to secure the right candidate. A structural shift in reporting lines. One of the most notable changes in the revamp is the alteration of reporting relationships within the organization. Previously, the All Blacks head coach reported directly to the NZ Rugby chief executive. Under the new model, the head coach will work closely with and effectively report into the high-performance director. This adjustment is being described as part of a major structural revamp, reflecting NZR's desire to centralize performance oversight and create clearer alignment between national teams, pathways, and professional structures. The intent appears to be to strengthen accountability, ensure consistency across all teams in black, and provide the head coach with both support and challenge from someone with deep rugby knowledge. The frontrunner Steve Hansen's name immediately carries weight within New Zealand rugby circles. As head coach of the All Blacks from 2012 to 2019, he oversaw one of the most successful eras in the team's history, including a Rugby World Cup triumph in 2015. Currently working in Japan alongside former All Blacks coach Ian Foster at Toyota Verblitz, Hansen remains deeply connected to elite rugby environments. Although Toyota has experienced mixed results, Hansen's reputation within New Zealand Rugby remains formidable. He understands the unique pressures of leading the All Blacks, from media scrutiny to public expectation, and is intimately familiar with NZR's internal structures. That institutional knowledge could prove invaluable in a high-performance director role designed to both support and scrutinize the national coach. If appointed, Hansen would likely bring a direct, hands-on leadership style. Reports suggest NZR is keen to reintroduce the intellectual property and strategic acumen that figures like Hansen previously contributed before moving offshore. Joe Schmidt ruled himself out of contention for the All Blacks head coaching job earlier in the recruitment cycle. However, the high-performance director position represents a different type of responsibility, one potentially better suited to his analytical strengths. Schmidt enjoyed considerable success during his tenure with Ireland and later served in a support capacity within the All Blacks coaching group. Known for his meticulous preparation and systems-based thinking, Schmidt would offer a detail-oriented approach to performance oversight. His experience working in both Northern and Southern Hemisphere rugby systems could also provide valuable global perspective as the game evolves. Reports indicate that if Schmidt were to take on the role, he would not be constrained by an immediate deadline. This flexibility may appeal to both NZR and Schmidt himself, allowing for careful consideration. Don Tricker. While Hansen and Schmidt are high-profile coaching names, Don Tricker represents continuity and administrative experience. Tricker previously served as NZ Rugby's high-performance manager from 2010 to 2018, overseeing systems during a period of sustained All Black success. He is currently working as a consultant for NZR and is part of the five-man panel tasked with selecting the next All Blacks head coach. His familiarity with governance, talent pathways, and performance metrics makes him a credible internal option. Compared to Hansen or Schmidt, Tricker may represent a steadier, less headline-grabbing appointment, but one grounded in institutional understanding. The All Blacks coaching race through appointment of a high-performance director intersects with the ongoing search for the next All Blacks head coach. When Scott Robertson departed, Hansen and Schmidt were reportedly invited to apply for the position. However, the race has since narrowed, with former Highlanders coach Jamie Joseph and ex-Wallabies boss Dave Rennie considered the leading contenders. Should NZR opt for a high-profile, high-performance director like Hansen or Schmidt, the dynamic between that individual and the new head coach will be crucial. The role is designed not merely as an administrative post, but as a performance partner, someone capable of challenging, advising, and supporting the All Blacks coach. If either Hansen or Schmidt were appointed, their stature alone would influence the balance of authority within the organization. Learning from recent campaigns as NZ Rugby's structural rethink follows a period of mixed outcomes on the global stage. The All Blacks fell short of World Cup glory in 2019 and again in 2023, prompting introspection within the governing body. While New Zealand remains one of rugby's premier nations, the margins between top teams have narrowed considerably. The increasingly competitive and complex nature of international rugby has prompted NZR to reassess how best to drive sustained success. Interim Chief Executive Steve Lancaster is set to transition into a newly created Chief Rugby Officer role once a permanent CEO is appointed, further underlining the scale of change underway. Chris Lendrum's legacy. Chris Lendrum's departure marks the end of an era. After more than 20 years with NZ Rugby, he leaves having overseen multiple high-performance cycles and national team campaigns. In a statement, Lendrum reflected on his time with the organization. "It's been a huge privilege to be involved in New Zealand Rugby and our national teams for this long, and work alongside some incredible people across the game," he said. "Together, we've seen plenty of success, although sometimes we haven't achieved goals that we in the country all wanted so dearly." Among his proudest achievements was leading the Black Ferns Culture and Environment Review in 2021, a pivotal process that laid the groundwork for their Rugby World Cup triumph the following year. Lendrum will remain involved as a consultant through to the end of 2026, ensuring institutional knowledge is not lost during the transition, that a singular focus on teams in black. A recurring theme in NZ Rugby's messaging is the need for a singular focus on driving the success of its elite teams. As international rugby becomes more professionalized and globally interconnected, performance oversight must adapt. Player welfare, talent identification, coaching development, and competition alignment all fall under the broader high-performance umbrella. The new director will therefore carry responsibility not just for the All Blacks, but for ensuring cohesion across men's and women's pathways, age grade systems, and professional franchises. That a pivotal appointment that decision NZ Rugby makes in the coming months could shape the direction of the organization for years to come. Appointing Hansen or Schmidt would signal a desire to reassert proven expertise and global credibility. Choosing Tricker could emphasize stability and continuity within an evolving structure. Either way, the creation of the high-performance director role marks a clear shift in governance philosophy. New Zealand Rugby is seeking sharper alignment, stronger accountability, and renewed competitive edge. With the All Blacks' next era about to begin, the individual selected for this pivotal position will play a defining role in determining whether the sport's most iconic team can reclaim consistent dominance on the world stage.